Well, it's December 2011, and up and down the country, people are dressing up as Santa to raise money for different charities. I'm in Greenwich Park, London, and I'm about to attempt my first ever 10k run.
So I'm going to take it easy today. I'm not racing against anyone. I've got quite a few friends and family who have decided to join me today as well, which is really nice. And we've all kind of said, look, you know, we'll run at our own pace, and if we meet up later on, we will do. If not, I'll see you later kind of thing. Because I think if you try and run against someone, I could really push myself and do myself injury at quite an early stage, and that's one thing I've been told I really don't want to do. I'm only 6-7 weeks into my training, so I'm still very early stages. So even attempting the 10k today, I think is quite a challenge for someone who couldn't run to catch a bus, you know, a few weeks ago. This will be my first experience running from a starting line, and you know, I'll be quite far at the back because they're all starting off getting ready now. So I'll be quite far near the back. So actually when that buzzer first goes, it'll probably be 10, 15, 20 minutes before I even get to go. So it'll be that anticipation. And I think that build up with all the other Santas dressed next to you and stuff, I think it's going to create a really good atmosphere, which will kind of help you push yourself a bit further. I've got my songs to keep me motivated towards the end, to push me that little further distance. But I'm expecting it to be fun. I'm expecting it to be cold, and I'm expecting it to be quite hard work as well.
As well as participating in Santa's run, this month I was invited to visit Laura from Pure Sports Medicine to discuss conditioning and strengthening my body in preparation for the marathon.
The issue with running is it's a very repetitive move, and you fatigue because it's you know, you're training obviously for a marathon, so we're talking on average, you know, marathon runner, we're talking, you know, maybe 4.5 hours duration on your feet. So that's a long time to be constantly hitting the ground, getting that ground reaction force, getting your body to rotate, using those arms to help to drive you through. So that repetitive motion, if there's any sort of area that you might be compensating with due to an old injury, then that's when you start to notice things start to get a bit niggly.
I'm finding I get a lot of problems in my right shoulder.
Okay.
I don't know, I've been looking at the way I'm running with both my arms, but definitely this shoulder, not this, I don't know, not my left one, just my right shoulder.
And are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Okay. Ever had any previous problems with your right shoulder?
No.
One of the... Oh, yeah, go on.
I did break my collarbone.
Okay, yeah.
And it might have been... Well, not only had I forgotten about my fractured collarbone, but talking to Laura, I remembered I'd broken my toes and also sprained my ankle in the past. And apparently all of these old injuries can still affect my movement now.
Doing the running, obviously you need to get time on your feet. You need to get that, you know, sort of whether you're running 3 times a week and you're doing your interval runs, your hill, you know, that sort of structure that your running coach may have given you is extremely important because that's what you're doing at the end of the day. But it's the strength and conditioning that sort of addresses maybe any weaknesses or areas where you've had previous injuries that you do away from running. It's not necessarily going to 100% make you faster, but it's going to make you more efficient, and it's going to help to prevent injuries, which is what you want.
During the session, we also spent time doing some simple movements so that Laura could assess my body structure and look for any areas that I should be focusing my training on.
It's all right.
The areas where I would get you maybe to work on is, first of all, finding your feet control, for instance, and seeing if we can get some loading through there. Then working on your pelvic control, your glute strength. So that you feel a bit more solid through this bit, and that takes the pressure off of this having to work. Second to that though, the reason also you're falling out onto the outside of your foot is potentially if you've twisted that ankle a couple of times, well then this basically becomes quite lax, and we want those muscles to be a little bit stronger so we can keep you in that flat position.
Listening to Laura, I've realised that I really need to start including some gym time into my training and start thinking about like my shoulder and ankle because of the previous injuries. They could certainly become a problem in the future if I don't look after them now.
I would personally say if you're running, say 3 times a week, minimum you want to be doing if you're working a full-time job is at least sort of 2 sessions a week, strength and conditioning in the gym. Basically, the stronger your body is, if you imagine if your body's nice and tight and toned and you've got good form, your running just becomes much more efficient.
Doing the session with Laura has been really helpful and left me with a lot to think about, especially when considering my training programme and what areas I need to improve on. But for the moment, I still had a 10k run to complete, dressed as Santa.
Oh, I'm really happy. I got under an hour. I wasn't aiming for a time, but I made it in 56:33. The hills definitely slowed me down. and on the second loop, about 44 minutes, I had to take a minute walk up the hill, but then I just kept at a steady pace and kept all the way through, so I'm really happy with my time. One bad thing is that I must charge my iPod before I run next time. About 20 minutes into the race, my iPod just died on me. So I got to listen to the crowd, which is really nice. There was a really nice couple along the way, actually. They were just standing on their own, but they were clapping everyone. So I'm sure their arms and hands were as tired as my legs are. But it's really nice, the atmosphere, having people clap you and cheer you on, and just having other Santas running with you. It was really good.
Get your medals over here. Well done. Oh, sorry. Fantastic job.
I really wanted to do today because 10K is roughly about a quarter of what the marathon will be. So in my head, I'm already thinking, could I go and do another 3 times what I just did? Certainly not yet, but with the training, definitely by the time I come to the marathon, I'm confident I can do it. Going around doing my 10K, you know, I was overtaking people were overtaking me, but I'm 100% sure that I wouldn't have been able to achieve the time I did, and you know, and be able to talk to you right now, even straight finishing the race. If I hadn't been doing my training. You know, people enter these events to raise money and to have fun, but you know, people don't do training, and you can see a lot of people struggling along the way, you know, completely out of it, on the floor, kind of catching their breath and stuff. So definitely the training helped me. And anyone, even if you're just doing a 5K or a 10K, just do some practice before you get to the actual race, because it does take it out of you. Next, I think I'm going to go get my medal, because I have made my 10K, and I'm just going to chill out the rest of the day. Actually, before I do any of that, I'm going to stretch, because I don't want to ache tomorrow.
If you would like to get involved in the 262 project, whether it be by offering advice, asking a question, or joining us for a training session, then please email us at info@262.co.uk.